Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rifts.
Hello, everyone. It is I, Tiny Rat. We're looking at artwork right now.
Yar.
Just imagine Tiny Rat when he goes arr, he actually holds his claws up like arr.
Oh, there's a picture of Tiny Rat singing the little Spanish flea with little Macarenas.
Yes, as always, guys, we've got fan art to show you. We're starting with one from Kinsey, which is like Inferno. I'm just not going to repeat Inferno, but you heard him.
Okay. You heard me. Although those Macarenas are not instruments, that's a dance. I believe I meant mariachi's also a dance. I don't know. The shakers.
Pesos.
No, actually,
Okay.
I'm thinking
Maracas?
Maracas, thank you.
Maracas.
Yeah, I mind blanked too. You weren't the only one. We've got two more from Kinsey. These are all little Tiny Wrath ones. Tiny Wrath talking about how he's all powerful, and you've got the Tiny Us. For a second there, I was like, who has horns? And I was like, oh, the pointy ears. Got it. And then my favorite Tiny Wrath picture yet so far. Tiny Wrath kissing himself in the mirror.
Oh, you're so beautiful.
You are.
All right. Moving on. We've got one from Neui. I really don't know how to pronounce this. It's a different language, but it's a really cool picture.
It's Neo.
Neo.
It's
Got it.
pronounced.
Yes.
And Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Yes, it's Neo. And it's a really cool one of Tom and Alicia. I really think that Alicia needs to be banned from weapons. It makes her OP.
No.
Just weapons in
Even
general.
without a weapon, she'll do just fine.
That's
so you gotta be
true.
careful.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's an amazing drawing. Well done. Sir, well done. And then we move on to one of our newer people. Allie, I don't think has drawn too much, or has just started drawing recently. But
Most of her pictures have been Slug related.
it's true. And we've got the first time Mila saw Mrs. Mams. And love at first sight. And then we've got another one where Mila is carrying Patrick back to bed because he was still sleepy. And did not drop him
Nope.
Nope.
And he has duck pajamas,
in his duck.
Which-
Adorable.
by the way, is awesome.
Yes.
The ducks look amazing.
I would like to mention, because I probably think nobody else remembers this, but that is actually canon. I'm actually extremely surprised
Oh no, I
that
remember.
person actually remembers that one time that I mentioned my sleeping attire.
I do remember you mentioning it, but it was long enough ago that I didn't instantly think about it. You are right.
You know what's hilarious? I, as the GM, totally forgot.
I remembered because I care.
Oh, you know what?
And apparently,
Mila has a brain aneurysm. She dies.
apparently, so does Allie, and you can't do anything to her.
Oh, not yet. Not until Bill 63 goes through. And then
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say not until next session where we meet an NPC called Allie. And then she dies. All right.
That's ridiculous. All right. He says. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for continuing to draw and support us in any way you choose. It's fun. It's fun. This is all fun. So fun. Like Rebecca Black. Anywho, yes, super gross. So we are currently in a 6-month time-passing narration period, pretty much, where some of the player characters are going to be learning magic, some of them are going to be learning some skills, and they're going to be having some encounters along the way. So we wrapped up last session with you checking one little thing off your to-do list, which was to distribute Elizabeth's ashes atop a mountaintop, which we did at the end of last session. In addition, you successfully found the materials to build a special glass cage for Mrs. Mams, and Patrick also rebuilt a robot, a light labor robot by the way. I guess you don't have the stats for that just yet, do you, Patrick?
Nope.
I will get that to you when we have just a little bit of downtime here. I don't want to do it right now because, let's not bog things down just yet. But I'll get you the stats this session for sure. Sound good?
Sweet.
All right. So this is what I was thinking to start things off, okay? Because for the rest of this 6-month period, you guys are making your way out east, right? Back towards the Greencastle, Flint, Fenton area, right? So I figured I'd start the session by giving you a idea, just some background about what has happened there and what is going on as a general setting, as a general set piece. And then after that, you guys can do whatever you like. We can do, player-initiated stuff, or we can start rolling some random things or anything like that. So I also have some lessons from Lee prepared. So feel free to be like, hey, I want to, role play a magic lesson with Lee, and I'm prepared to do that as well. Okay. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Groovy. All right. So it is a long and relatively, not really perilous, but at some points it's a difficult journey back to the East Coast. At points your group has to try to avoid danger, navigate the Appalachian Mountains, and deal with wintry conditions. Of course, you're all adults and you've had to deal with the winter before, and being in a large, heated, powered robot certainly makes a relatively comfortable lifestyle, but the ice and the snow sometimes slows things down. But well into the second month of this 6-month period, you do manage to get back to, you navigate back towards the east and start to approach Greencastle and Flint. Now, how you get this information is, up to you guys as a group. You could touch base with the folks at Flint, the Elder Council, who you know relatively well. You can check in at Greencastle itself, speaking to the citizens there, or the passing mercenaries who are still around the area, or even just surfing radio channels, picking up information via chatter, or even just other travelers or passersby and you ask for news. Regardless, you get a good picture of the situation, which is this. Gyro Bede, the leader of the Red Suns, who before you left managed to contact you and make you that offer. Do you all recall? About,
yes.
Yeah. He is now Lord Mayor Bede, and he rules over Greencastle. His Red Sun mercenaries are now the Greencastle Security Force, which their armor has the same colors, but the logo is altered some. It's a letter G that is inlaid onto the rising sun that's set upon the body armor that they wear. It was about 3 days after you initially left the East Coast that the Red Suns staged a daring and sudden coup. Thanks to a combination of security system exploitation, bribes, and a show of power, Queen Deirdre was dethroned. Her royal advisor, Brienne, managed to flee the city before the coup, and Deirdre was arrested. Now, Queen Deirdre actually turned out to be extremely infirm, confused, and despondent. Unable to sustain herself, Gyro Bede decided not to exile her, nor did he execute her. And currently she lives with a caregiver on an independent ranch a few miles away to live out the rest of her life. However, the coup didn't go without blood, unfortunately. The Honorable Eagle Clan Mercenary Company, who originally signed a contract with royalty, refused to bow down and break their contract they made with the royal powers. And there was a brutal street fight that left 4 Red Sun mercenaries, 12 Eagle clan members, and 4 civilians dead. And another 7 civilians were wounded due to the fight. Now, after the coup, Gyro set his direction for Flint. He and his envoy arrived at the town and proposed peace. He spoke to the refugees personally and offered them a proposal. He explained that Gyro used to grow up on a farm in his youth, and he knew that the half-harvested fields that surrounded Greencastle would die from the oncoming frost that was mere days away. He told the refugees that if Greencastle was to survive, everyone, including his own mercenaries, would have to put down the weapons and get to work reaping the fields as fast and as soon as possible. He explained that it was the only way they would all have enough food to last over the winter. He outlined a plan where he would be the Lord Mayor for a term of 2 years, and that under his direction he would stabilize Greencastle and allow it to grow again. He asked the refugees to vote for his leadership, to accept him or to reject him. And after his 2 years were up, another vote would be cast to continue his leadership or seek out another Lord Mayor. The refugees voted, and 134 people voted to accept his leadership, while 33 rejected his proposal and 21 declined to vote. Now, about 2 months in, and Gyro appears to be a firm but fair leader. He's lifted all bounties and contracts against enemies of the throne, including your contracts, including the contracts against you guys. He has signed trade proposals with Finton and an exclusive trade deal with Flint. No weapons of any kind are allowed past Greencastle city gates, and the hours between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. are a curfew for all citizens. Food has been rationed out, and although most don't get everything they want, no citizen goes to bed hungry. Most crimes are punished with fines and community service, although more severe crimes, such as smuggling a weapon past the checkpoints, are treated with lashings or with terms of hard physical labor. Capital offenses, such as murder and rape, are met with swift executions. The citizens, from what you gather, are mostly content with Gyro's leadership for now, although some feel that he seems a little too stern sometimes. What folks like the most about him, though, is that there's no favoritism with Lord Mayor Bede, and they feel that there's an actual rule of law. After all, his own Red Sons are held by the same standards, and the Lord Mayor has actually executed 3 of them for breaking these most severe laws. The Elder Council of Flint also seems mostly content with the current political climate, and they've exchanged financial, food, and medical aid for political favors. Flint is cautiously optimistic, and they're happy that their former largest trade partner has returned, and there doesn't seem to appear to be any signs of war. Now, Finton, you remember Finton with that large Lord Fromline.
Yes.
That city is currently probably the most stable and self-sufficient, and also the most independent, having lost nothing due to the whole Greencastle upheaval. Other than some modest trade, Lord Fromline rarely communicates with the outlying cities, although they have been considerate enough to warn both Flint and Greencastle of increased sightings of hostile robotic foes who are not hampered, unlike many beasts and monsters, by the snow that now covers the area. At this point, if you have any general questions about, where things are and what has happened, feel free to ask. But I figure that gives you guys a good picture of what's going on.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, it does. I can't think of any questions at the moment.
Okay, great, no problem. So
I am certainly glad that everything kind of worked out this way for Greencastle.
Yep, definitely. The world kept on turning. It looks like when it was spinning around, it wasn't awful. I have to say, although it looks like, obviously, characters in this world. They have their own motivations. They all do what they want to do, right? This wouldn't have happened though without obviously your influence, quite a bit actually.
Mhm.
I'd say if any times when you go to Green Castle, you are treated very, very kindly. The citizenship loves you, and Gyro Bead at a few times welcomes you into the Grand Castle itself for a few dinners and just shoot the shit. He doesn't have any particular jobs for you or anything like that, and he sometimes would make a few remark here and there about like, oh, you skedaddled off before we could finish off our plan, but he doesn't seem to hold it against you. Same thing with the individuals of Flint. Elder Council likes you, respects you considerably. You have a long-term political ally with them. And the individuals of Flint, although not as grateful as the people of Green Castle, they do know and acknowledge that you helped the refugees, which in turn helped Flint considerably. So, and Finton, well, you know what Lord Fromline thinks of you. And
Yeah.
unless you explicitly go there, I don't think I'd rather. We can roleplay it, but yeah, what's up?
Since we have the time, it might be a good thing to go there and at least give him the news about James T.
We can roleplay that, sure.
Oh boy. Okay.
If that's groovy with the group.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm just concerned.
I don't remember.
Lord Fromline?
Yeah, who?
That happened during a session that you weren't able to be there. That was during the giant robotic brain fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
Basically, we found a really angry large man who had.
Here, I'll
like,
bring out his picture.
Yeah.
That James T either had screwed him over or he screwed James T over. It just kind of depends on who you believe.
And
Yeah, and we
I'm
kind
gonna
of
call
left
him
in a
Dr.
hurry.
Gonopus.
Okay.
Dr. Octagonopus.
Yeah, and basically, we showed up with James T, and he was very, very upset to see him and wanted to kill him, and we managed to talk him down, but he basically said, you've got like 10 minutes to get out of this town before I kill you. Because I really hate James T. Now, and he did mention, I believe, unless I'm really forgetting, he did mention that he didn't really have a problem with us. He had a problem with James T and the fact that we were with James T.
Yes, that's all it was. He never really had a problem with you, but since you were with James T and didn't want to kill him, he just assumed you were allies. But he did give you, instead of just attacking you off the get-go, he gave you consideration of just leaving and getting out of his sight, right? So.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, I could be
Spider-Man
completely wrong, but he said, "Don't come back unless, like, he's not with
dead.
you or something."
Yeah, he's not with you.
Yeah.
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 Something like that.
Oh, I guess we can come back. Yeah, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I
with this.
guess so.
Well, here,
Alright,
give me a
so-
moment and let me outline, just so you know what's all involved as far as Fenton goes. Just as a quick refresher for you guys. Give me just a moment. Yeah, because he's seen as the Lord of Flinton. It's a pretty little town of farmers. Right now, obviously, it is speckled with snow. But it's a local haven for wilderness scouts, mountain men, nomads in the area. It's a population of about 700 people. There's but they do see travelers from time to time quite a bit. There are some large buildings, some merchant shops. There's a town square as well. And what's interesting, compared to Flint, which is small, well, humble, and Green Castle, it's a very picturesque town. Like, it's very neat. It's very tidy. And as far as amenities, this place has a general store. It has a barber, shoemaker, furrier, tailor, carpenter, a bakery and a herb shop, blacksmith, a few saloons, a dance hall, and they even have an individual who's able to is a psychic healer as well. There's a boarding house, but you guys don't have to worry about that, and also a fine automatic mechanic shop that operates just outside the town. Regardless, we can what I'll do is I'll set up the scene for you guys to talk with Lord Fromline, and then we'll slip in character. Works well for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you arrive in these wintry conditions to Fenton, you come across a few. It's regulated by a local militia, like a lot of places, and the militia takes note of your behemoth, and they do a quick personnel check, and they allow you into Fenton itself. And while you do remember. Okay, so here's a big question. You do remember where Lord Fromline lives, a very picturesque little house upon a hill. You can either go visit him, or it'll only be about, I'd say, about an hour of you actually being in Fenton, and the militia will request you all to meet with Lord Fromline. So, either way, I suppose, you arrive at... Oh, so yeah, go ahead.
I personally have no other business in the town because they weren't exactly the friendliest towards my pointy ears. So I think
Taylor was a racist.
Right.
Yes.
So Al basically is just there to inform Lord Fromline. So he'd probably just, unless anyone else in the party wants to do anything, go talk to him.
Okay.
How is the it's snowy?
Yes.
Mila's gonna just play in the snow. She doesn't really care about this.
Okay. Well, and since Mila never met Lord Fromline, you're not an individual of interest, we'll just say.
I wasn't invited.
No, you weren't.
God damn it! Fine, I'll just play in the snow. I didn't want to go anyway.
God.
Pam will play in the snow with you. In the frozen
Flop
water.
around, yeah.
Flop around.
On the ice.
Chair.
Like she flops around on like an ice lake. Like, why?
Why?
Bullshit. Anyway. Lord Fromline's home, although all the flowers have obviously been cleaned and cleared, its brick face and its large red door is still there. And although you are not welcome inside, when you approach up the hill, down the shoveled pathway up to his home, you see Lord Fromline standing on his front porch, his robotic eye glaring at you as his mechanical arms twitch and clamp and close nervously as he says, I see that you are without a traveling companion. That monster.
Yes. We won't take up too much of your time. We were just wanting to inform you, given your past, that James T. is dead.
His mechanical arms stopped twitching immediately. They slumped down a little bit lower as you see his head jerk back a little bit as if it was news that he was not expecting. He goes, dead. This isn't some sort of trickery.
No. James T. left our company some time ago, several months ago, in the company of a man by the name of Roger. I don't know if you know of him. I don't know much about him other than he had some very interesting robots with him and seemed to get along well with James T. A few weeks later, we found James T. dead. It looked like he had been surrounded by something. Our best guess is they weren't human, probably robotic, and gunned down.
He was gunned down.
Yeah.
Real quick, out of character, I am correct. Like he did have scorched gunshot wounds on him. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Good,
No.
good.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smoldering. Yeah. No, he was. Yeah. No, he's not. No. Lord Fromline is just processing this happy bit
Just
of
making
information.
sure I didn't miss. Like, no, there was an impaled spear squee. I don't know. So yeah.
I actually have something else that that I would like to say.
Okay. Yeah. Go nuts.
I'm after we saw his dead body, we buried him. And I'm sure that we can give you the coordinates if you need it to confirm.
Now the GM's thinking if you can. GM is thinking Patrick might have.
Yeah, Patrick might have. And I was thinking that the behemoth would have kind of like a GPS where
No,
it
there
would
wouldn't be a
have a
GPS
line.
because a global positioning system requires satellites, right?
True.
Yep.
I would. Yeah. All right. Never mind.
Although there would be some sort of land tracking. It does track its steps. That's how it was you'll find out where it was first manufactured.
Yeah.
But it's possible. I think it's going to be a combination. It's not something that you can think of right off the top of your head. But as Tom says that, Patrick, you think that if you do, I'm thinking a successful computer use and mathematics check, and you can get Lord Fromline probably within a mile, maybe half a mile of the area where you found James T.
All right, guys, we need to go into space and set up satellites so we can get a GPS system working so we can get this guy the corpse.
You're making life so much harder for yourself.
Yeah, it sounds easier.
Actually, that's a lot
Post
easier
in
than
space.
Right?
parents.
You know,
I want this to be a thing.
Yeah.
I want us to strive for parents post in space. I think that would be amazing.
that would be amazing.
We can make that work. There's anyways, but let's
We're not in space yet.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, focus on this. Anyways,
Math and what
Well-
else?
computer use.
Computer use.
Okay. So, well, I gotta think what Lord Fromline would say about that. Although I do not know you, or particularly know what you're saying is the truth, I will reserve the right to be optimistic. I hope he is truly dead, for when he returned with you those months ago, it opened up closed wounds.
Would it help you to know that I don't know what your past was, and it's not important, but he led us to a giant brain he considered rather evil, and I am inclined to agree. We destroyed that as well.
Where was this brain located? And you can tell him
Right. Okay, yeah.
with the room. That is further south than our people usually go, but it's good to know that another threat has been eliminated, especially if it was relatively close. Closer than where that bastard James's body lies. I do not consider you a threat or an enemy of Fenton. You may do your business here. It is too bad that you yourselves didn't terminate the monster. You said you do not know what he did, but he was a sadist and cruel and petty. He did this, and he turns his back, and you can see the scarring of the forceful bionic augmentation of the man. And he goes, without a second thought, and he did kill my beloved too.
Al will excuse me. Al will pause for a while and then say, he was heavily suspected in several murders as well when we found his body. I do not doubt your words or his deeds. I think that he was a deeply troubled person,
There is no pity in Lord Fromline's eyes as he goes. Say what you will. Thank you for telling me of this news. I would have been otherwise constantly wondering. I'm glad I was merciful with you. You did deserve it.
Al will put a hand to his chest in kind of a salute and do a small bow and say, if there's nothing else, we will take our leave.
Go. And with that, he'll give one last little look while you guys leave and enter back into his house.
I actually have some business in town, if that is all fine.
Sure, you're super quiet though.
I am.
Yeah, well now you're a little bit better, but when your last phrase was pretty quiet.
Sorry, I was a bit away from my microphone. Anyways, I would like to go to the blacksmith.
Okay. And what would you like done at the blacksmith's?
I just want to see what they have. Maybe if they have any iron swords or something like that.
Iron swords.
Iron or maybe silver tipped or
well, they don't have any iron swords. They deal with steel. But he polishes. He says he roots around. The blacksmith roots around in the back there, and he goes, "Oh, I was gonna melt this down. We scavenger picked it up, and he comes out with a silver short sword, and he goes, I'm pretty sure the silver is pure. I was gonna melt it down and use it for coins or for something to trade in, but I'll let you have it for I don't know. Oh, what you got for payment?
credits.
Trade credits, okay. I'll let you go with 500 trade credits.
Deal.
Okay. You have a silvered short sword now.
Sweet. Can I, when I return to the behemoth, look at its weapon quality with that handy
Do you
dandy
have WP sword? Yeah.
Yes.
No problem. Yeah. Roll me a skill check.
All right. Skill roll. Sword. And then minus 30. Oh boy, I got a 7.
Oh, that's good. All right. So I'll describe the sword for you. It is about 2.5 feet long. No, sorry, 2 feet long. It's about 2 feet long. The silver itself is a little... It's sturdy, although there is a slight, I guess you could say like a scrape or a scratch going from about halfway up the sword towards the blade. With that excellent skill check, you notice that doesn't... that's not going to affect the weapon quality, but just shows that it has definitely been used before.
Okay.
It has a wooden handle, a wooden hilt. That also has probably seen some time. In fact, the base of it looks like it's chipped and cracked and dented, as if someone used it to strike something hard with it. You figure that, I don't know, after a few uses or so, depending on how hard you use it, the wooden handle, the wooden hilt might need to be replaced. But for now, it will serve you just fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Scored a silver short sword, man. That's
Woo!
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else?
No, I think that's it for me.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, great.
Criana's gone. What about Squee?
Yeah, I was thinking. I can't think of anything at the moment. I'm good.
Sure. Once again,
All right,
we're in a very flexible narrated period, so if you want to get something at Fenton or Greencastle or Flint, we can just talk about it. It's no big deal. I just have it's about availability and shit.
Out of character, I'd like to bring up something to the group that it's kind of a promise Al made, which is why I want to bring it up to the group, to see if the group is for it or not. One thing that Al said, because he felt kind of bad with the way he had to act, he wanted to see if there was a way to help the girl that had been maimed after all of this was said and done, i.e. get her some sort of biotic so that she can walk and hold things again, or maybe talk, or something.
Oh yeah, you want to talk with the group about
Right,
it
like
first.
if the group
Okay.
is up for trying to find a way to... I know we don't have enormous amounts of money left. I don't know if we have enough to do something, but that girl...
Squeak. 600 grand is not enormous. Yeah,
I know,
totally.
compared to what we're used to, I know. Well, also compared to possibly getting biotic implants. But the thing is, the girl, because of Jasper, has no limbs and no tongue, and that's a horrible existence. And Al feels... at least Al feels responsible because while he doesn't think... He felt he had to act the way he did, it was still a very harsh way to act to her.
Ooh, actually, no, never mind. I'm gonna shut up. Keep going. I was gonna have you roll for something, and then I realized, no. You'd find out anyway. So it's all good. Keep going.
Right.
She's not dead. Don't worry. She didn't have a heart attack.
I was going to say...
Okay, good.
That would be pretty cheap. I really want to help her. Well, that's too bad. She's dead. Fuck you.
How do you guys feel about this? Because Al would want to do this, but like I said, this was not really something Al did with group consent. The promise wasn't. He didn't steal your money and give her biotic limbs or anything.
Nope.
I am not sure. It depends on the cost.
Well, I'll tell you what. You do realize, I'll give you a general outline of the cost. Now, you don't know for sure, first of all, anyone around the area can do this. But you do have a comparison to what Dr. Fenton charges for things. Because remember, back in the day, he had Dr. Fenton do some implants for you guys. So you can remember, we'll say, how much it would cost. All right. So nothing fancy. Cybernetic arms, legs, and a tongue, right? A mouth.
Yeah.
Give God a moment to load this. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. I made a special item list for bionic implants. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
There's also possibly a couple of items that I might want to take a look at. I don't know where they would be in either Flint or Fenton.
Does anyone
or
know...
not Fenton, but Greencastle.
Does anyone know, is there a biotic tongue? Like some way to give her speech back?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Yeah. There's two different types of cybernetics. Yeah, it would be artificial. There's also... It would be artificial, but it would be, if I recall correctly, very near human flesh.
Yeah, it replaces a damaged tongue with a synthetic one composed of living tissue, blood vessels, and taste bud sensors. Duplicates a natural ability to taste by 63% and offers full speech articulation.
Oh, God. I have an image in my head of like, okay, so we've only got enough money for you to choose. Do you want legs? Do you want to talk?
No.
Be a horrible conversation.
So you know what Dr. Fenton would charge. So arms, legs, and tongue. Give me just a moment. I'm almost there. Hand. An arm.